down 1,000 times. I ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I'm standing right here. Demons all around, but I ain't got no fear.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, online here with Jim the Maverick, and we've got a big one here for you. We are doing a fantasy football mock draft. Now, this is really interesting. We're going to be doing it from two perspectives. I'm going to be showing it from the third position. I'm going to be drafting from the third position, and Jim is going to be drafting from the 10th position. We're going to be walking you through the first 6 rounds, but we are doing a full, complete mock draft from two perspectives, which will be distributed on the Patreon group at patreon.com/FF Counselor, but you have to be under the general level membership, okay? The top tier level will get access to this video, the full mock draft, two perspectives. Now, here on YouTube, we will be doing the full 6 rounds here for you. Third pick and 10th pick, so you see two perspectives. Jim, welcome to the show. This is a big episode. This is getting us ready for the drafts. We are full of fantasy. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Hey, how you doing, Counselor? I am excited to be here and excited to do this. I'm this is kind of fun having another live person in a mock draft, and let's see how we do.
This is exciting.
I'm ready.
So we're going to dive right in. Before we do, guys, secure the 16-round draft solution, sleepers, breakouts, optimal players to draft each round. Secure the solution, secure the championship. And of course, guys, a 16-round plus tool. It's really going to help you get a lot of insight on contract years, bounce back players, everything you need to know on the top 250 players in the app, guys. It's a mobile-friendly, mobile-friendly, right? Mobile-friendly, web-based app.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. 16-round plus, guys, at thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Under programs, grab the solution and grab the app. Totally separate programs. Both work individually, but both work together as well. All right, Jim, I'm excited to dive into this. I'm going to be drafting from the third position, and you're going to be drafting from the 10th position. So I'm ready to dive into this.
Yes.
And before we were talking, I don't know if my hat and the shirt I'm wearing is giving this away, but you probably know who I'm going to be drafting here.
Oh, I have no idea who you're going to pick, Counselor. Who's it going to be?
You're probably thinking Bijan for sure. That's what the normal, counselor consensus thing would be, but I'm going to change it up here. I'm actually going to go someone else here. I'm actually going to go at the third pick. Now, if you're in the car, again, Justin Jefferson is first. Christian McCaffrey came out first in the simulations based off consensus consensus rankings. I'm going to go ahead and change it up. I know I'm wearing the Bijan hat. I know I look really good in my Atlanta gear. You can't see it behind the mic, but I'm wearing my Atlanta Falcons shirt. But I'm going to go here. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor here with the third overall pick. Bounce back here. We're looking at a contract year, if I'm correct here. The 16-round plus tool will tell us exactly if you have any uncertainty. Jonathan Taylor here at the third pick. And at the end of the day, man, he's going to get the volume. There's no committee there. Bounce back here. Anthony Richardson will steal some goal line work. I'm okay with that, but there's no committee. Jonathan Taylor here with the pick, and I'm actually making the pick right now, as you can see, and the simulation here will continue, Jim. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to see how this plays out. So Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan, Jamar Chase, Cooper Kupp, Austin Eckler, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill are taken. Now Jim is on the board. Let's go, Jim. Who do you got at 10?
Well, I got to say, I'm a little bummed out that Tyreek Hill went. He's one of my top players this year. So if he made it, I was going to go wide receiver first. But because he's not, I do need to secure my running back. Now, normally I would pick Saquon Barkley here. I'm hearing good things that they are negotiating, that they are trying to reach some sort of an agreement. And if Saquon signs an agreement with the Giants, I think he's good to go. And he would be like my number 2 running back, right, only behind Bijan Robinson. But that has not happened yet. And there's a very short time frame here. I think they have until next Thursday to negotiate something. So I'm going to stay clear of Saquon Barkley for now. And instead, I'm going to go with Nick Chubb as my number 1 running back here. I just love the opportunity here. He's paired with the best quarterback he's ever had in his entire career. Kareem Hunt is gone. This is a workhorse role. He's had an increased role in the passing game. I'm thinking he's going to be absolutely fantastic this year. Love Nick Chubb, taking him first.
All right, so Jim has made the pick here. It's simulating the second round. He's going to come back on the turn. So let's just recap the first round here, Jim. We got Justin Jefferson, very safe pick. Christian McCaffrey, I think he's going to bust this year, had his last hurrah year. And you can just chime in on a couple picks here on the first round as we recap this. Again, the full mock draft will be laid out in the Patreon group, patreon.com/FF Counselor. The full mock draft, you have to be the top tier level, which is the general level, okay? There's private captains and generals. Make sure you're a general to see the full mock draft. Okay, so let's go through this. Cooper Kupp, I think he had his big year a couple years ago. Austin Eckler, new offensive coordinator, addition of Quentin Johnston. Again, I'm not seeing Austin Eckler. I think Isaiah Spiller gets worked in a little bit more as a big-time sleeper there for you. Travis Kelce, again, consistent as they come. He's doing a lot of partying lately. I don't know how that's going to translate on the field. Tyreek Hill, like you said, Nick Chubb, super safe. Devontae Adams, big downgrade at quarterback, a little expensive for me. And you got Stephon Diggs, who's super safe, but there was some off-field drama with him and Josh Allen. Will that continue? I don't know. Any notes on these guys? I mean, everybody's got their question marks. There's no safety and security. Anything you want to add on this first round as we move on to the second here?
No, this is pretty straightforward. I'm kind of surprised here to see CeeDee Lamb not coming off in the first round, but that's fine. I wish he would have made it to me. I would have loved to have taken CeeDee Lamb with my second pick.
Right.
But I'm in a good situation here. I want to get myself an ace wide receiver. And so there's a couple of really great choices. A.J. Brown still on the board. Amon-Ra St. Brown is there. It's a contract year for that guy. I really like what he's offering. Garrett Wilson, of course, huge. And Chris Olave, who I love. Although Chris Olave, I would hope to get him later than the second round.
Right.
Right now, if we look at who's the highest rated amongst these guys, let's see here. Garrett Wilson is currently ranking as the highest. He ranks ahead of Amon-Ra. He's got like 79 cutty points. Amon-Ra is 75. These are all great options, right? These are all great players. But I think I'm going to go with the upside of Garrett Wilson, second year. Has a good quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be just a blockbuster. We've seen what Rodgers does when he has an elite wide receiver option. So I'm excited to see what happens here with the Jets. Let's go ahead and take Garrett Wilson with our second pick.
You know what? I love him. I love the upside here. I love the ceiling. I actually ended up getting him in a league right now, and I'm pretty happy with it. I got him in a league. It's a 2-quarterback super flex, and I ended up getting him for pretty much, I think it was like the 4th pick. So after I went robust RB, no, I think it was the 3rd pick. I got him in the 3rd pick while everyone went quarterback. Love the ceiling. Love the upside, man. I am super, super excited about him. All right, we're coming back around here. So, guys, if you're in the car, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Josh Jacobs, Stevenson, which I think there could be a buzzkill, man. There could be a buzzkill there with Stevenson. I am a little concerned if Cook ends up there, something like that. A.J. Brown, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Derrick Henry falling, man. What do you think, Jim? Him falling late second, early third. Do you think that's kind of where he needs to be? You're not really high on him this year either. You're kind of feeling what I'm feeling. With it might be a bust year.
I'm concerned about the age. That's what at 29 years old. This guy has had over 350 touches like each of the past 3 seasons, very high volume. When does all that start catching up with Derrick Henry? I mean, he's a monster. He's fantastic. He's been an unbelievable running back. But I think that's what you're seeing here is the risk, the age risk with this guy. And frankly, I'm not real interested. I want younger guys. I want guys in their prime. I definitely don't want to be left holding the bag if last year was the last hurrah for Derrick Henry. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. All right. So let's go through this here. I got to make a pick here. So I'm coming back on turn. I've got my Jonathan Taylor. So I feel kind of warm and fuzzy at the running back position. I take a quick glance at who else is available at the running back position. This is what I do. I take a glance. Now, again, I love Breece Hall. Obviously, there's question marks with the injury coming back. Is he going to be full force? And the fact that they are flirting with Dalvin Cook has me concerned. I ended up drafting him actually in a big money league, believe it or not. I ended up drafting him. So that's a chance I took, but I do have backup. It's not like I just went with him and that was it, right? So he is a high upside pick here. And I got Taylor to back myself up. Najee, a little bit of a safer pick. I take a quick glance at wide receiver. I don't like the wide receivers that are available here, Jim. I genuinely do not. I mean, when you
really, you don't like Chris Olave? I love Chris Olave here. I think he'd be fantastic.
If he falls back in the 3rd, I'm considering him. But the way that it's just now, Waddle and Higgins, not excited at all, honestly, because
I don't want those guys either.
And here's the thing, man. You got all these wide receiver 2s coming out for round Two, when I can get wide receiver ones later. I'd rather have a Drake London over a Devontae Smith any day, even though it's questionable at quarterback. He's still a wide receiver 2. Drake London is ultra elite wide receiver 1. It's a no-brainer for me that I'm going to wait. So again, I take a look at running back. I think Najee's the safest here just based on volume opportunity. I'm also, as the season gets closer, I'm also getting more and more excited about Jahmyr Gibbs here. Ultra excited here. I'm going to go here. Najee Harris and hope Gibbs comes back or Olave and see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So recapping the second round, Saquon Barkley, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Josh Jacobs, Stevenson, for all those people in the car. A.J. Brown, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I went Najee Harris, Mark Andrews, Breece Hall, Travis Etienne, and Aaron Jones are starting the round 3. So Etienne and Aaron Jones round 3. And I'm not crazy on Etienne at all, one bit whatsoever. I'm going to go here, and I love, again, wide receiver. Olave's there. I could secure him. I don't know. I'm really liking Gibbs here, but I'm going to pass up on him just for demonstration purposes because I do like Olave. Get my secure wide receiver 1. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead here with Olave at the pick 3, Jim. So I'm feeling pretty good about it. What do you think?
Yeah, I love that. And I also love Najee. Again, a complete workhorse in an improved offense with a second-year quarterback. I think he's going to be just fine. He's going to get excellent volume, and I'm kind of jealous that you got him. And look at what happened on the draft board. Jahmyr Gibbs came off right before my pick. Doesn't that just figure?
Absolutely.
Oh, boys.
So I've got to go with here. This is curious because now we are in the third round. Jim's already secured Nick Chubb, Garrett Wilson. So he's got his ace upside quarterback. He's got a safe and secure running back. Jim, 3.10. Who are you taking here?
Oh boy, man, this is going to be a little bit difficult here. Okay, so I'm going to go, even though I'm doing a bit of a reach here, because I bet you I could get him on the next round. He is currently the highest rated player in the third round for my draft pick. It's Dameon Pierce as my RB2. And so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab him and be very happy with that. Again, another workhorse, and I don't anticipate Houston is going to be a very good offense, but he was fantastic on a terrible offense last year. So we will just see how he improves from there. So
it's a little early. It's a little early for him. I think he would fall. Don't you think he would have fell a little bit longer, deeper?
He could have. He was listed as a reach on my app, so he might have. It's one of those things where he was the best running back on the board. I mean, my other options were Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, Alexander Madison. Wasn't super thrilled with any of those guys as a third round option, so I just reached a little bit to get them.
Okay, so recap second round here. Again, we kind of gone over it. The guys that we like in second round, sorry to interrupt, Jim. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Najee, Breece Hall, some good options there. Round 3, I went with Chris Olave. He went with Dameon Pierce. Love Jahmyr Gibbs here. If you want to go quarterback, this is your chance. If you want Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, or Pat Mahomes, that's where they're going in a one quarterback league. Now, quickly to talk about super flex, Jim, just because I want to address this to people. I still tend to go running back early. I ended up doing it, for example, in a draft now, and I ended up with Jared Goff as my QB1, which again is not bad considering I've got Jonathan Taylor and Bijan as my number 1 and 2 picks. So again, it's up to you guys for super flex or 2 quarterback leagues, but you don't want to wait too long on those quarterbacks because they hoard them away. What do you think, Jim, on super flex, real quick?
Well, yeah, I mean, super flex, if I'm picking like in the first half, like pick 1 through 6, I would grab one of those elite quarterbacks. I would. But if you're in the second half, you might as well just wait. And I like grabbing my quarterbacks in the 4th, 5th round when it's a super flex type league, and then using those early picks to get these elite options, which are all available much later than you would think. Like I said, Garrett Wilson in the 3rd round, stuff like that. So that's kind of my overall strategy. But I don't think I could pass up taking like Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts or Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence if I have the opportunity in the first round. So
yeah, that's exactly what happened to me. I ended up going 11th, and even Herbert was gone. Everyone was gone. So it's like, I got to make a decision here. Am I grabbing a mid-tier quarterback like an Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson round 1? I'm like, no, or Jared Goff. Early. So I went running backs at the 11th pick because everybody literally went quarterback early. Okay, let's go back to the draft here. So you're on the clock here. Pick number 4, starting on the 4th round. T. Higgins comes off. Again, I'm not crazy on Higgins at all. Hawkinson comes off, and then you're here on the 3rd pick in the 4th round. Jim, who are you taking?
Yeah, and check it out. We've got 3 quarterbacks already off the board too. The elite 3: Mahomes, Hurts, and why? Hold on, I can't see the draft board here. I got to see the draft board.
Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Hurts.
Josh Allen, thank you, Josh Allen. Yes, I don't know where.
You and Diggs
my eyes don't work too good. I got. What's that?
You and Diggs are both hating on Allen this year. Both have some trouble with him.
No, I like him. I think he's a great option, man. I think he's the only elite quarterback that's going to get you like 30 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns. So I like him there. I think he's great. Don't like the drama with Diggs. We'll see what happens with that, but I still think he's a solid option. It's a great offense, So now I'm at a real inflection point, man. I got to make some decisions here. Because I'm not thrilled with the running back options. I mean, there's some some okay options. I mean, you got Kenneth Walker, we got Alexander Mattison, we got Cam Akers. I think all those guys are decent, but I don't think any of them are really barn busters. I mean, it's just, man, where are they ranking here on my app? Cam Akers is the highest ranked one. He's pretty good. He's got 62
running backs are slim. And this is the point I'm trying to make here. If you wait on running back, you're going to get screwed here because your best option is Alexander Mattison, who I'm not sold on. By the way, I heard some inside info. I could be wrong. Well, I don't know. It's not even inside info, but I'm hearing rumors here that Dalvin Cook, obviously, this came out that the Dolphins offered him something. I don't know the exact figure. I think it was like $7 million. I could be wrong. I don't look into their contracts, but apparently he turned it down. There's just a chance at the time of this recording, he may end up back in Minnesota. I don't know, but Cook not getting paid. Again, I'm just not sold on Madison just being the guy. I could be wrong. He was a backup for years. I have a personal problem with drafting a backup as my RB and thinking he's going to be an RB1 eventually after all those years. They did draft Dwayne McBride, who I love as a sleeper later, by the way. So I don't know. There's not many options here at quarterback. That's all I'm trying to say here, Jim. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of thin, but you know what? I'm going to go with my favorite guy. I've been talking to this guy up. I think he's going to be great contract year, and he is in a workhorse situation. There's really no competition in this backfield, and there's no rumors of any of these free agent running backs going there. So I'm going to go with Cam Akers here. I'm going to take Cam Akers, my 4th overall pick, secure my 3rd running back, and I'll just go with that. But yeah, you're right, man. It does thin out quick with the running backs.
Yeah, so Jim here, let's recap here the 3rd round. It started with ATN, who I don't really like. Aaron Jones, Chris Olave, went with him. Waddle, Joe Mixon, Pat Mahomes. Again, those 3 quarterbacks coming off. Devontae Smith, Josh Allen, Jahmyr Gibbs, who I love. Dameon Pierce, I think he could have fell. Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts. Now, Jim came back round 4. They went T. Higgins and Hawkinson. Jim went Cam Akers, who I think is a boom bust type player. James Conner came off. Metcalf, Alexander Mattison, Deebo Samuel, Amari Cooper, and Joe Burrow to round out the pretty much almost the 4th round. Now we're at the 4.10 pick. I've secured Jonathan Taylor and Najee Harris. Absolutely love, I feel pretty good at the running back position here, but I got to take a look at who's available here at the running back. And as you guess here, it got slim and trim. I went with that wide receiver here, and I lost a bunch of running backs here, which included Jahmyr Gibbs and Dameon Pierce here on the turn. Even Madison, who could have been a decent RB3 at best. So I take a look at my options here, Jim. It is so slim at running back. You're taking chances with guys like Javonte Williams, David Montgomery. I'm not really interested in because I'm a big believer of Jahmyr Gibbs is here. Man, it's like I almost don't want to go running back here. So I take a quick glance at wide receiver, and there he is staring me right in the face. Love him. Calvin Ridley. Other great options here, Jerry Jeudy. I think you can wait a little bit. Drake London, Christian Watson. But again, Jim and I were talking about this. Christian Watson, I mean, they drafted 2 rookie tight ends. And you've got Dobbs there. You've got Jaden Reed, another rookie. And you got the question marks around Jordan Love. Love Christian Watson's upside, but a lot of question marks, right, Jim, with him?
Yeah, again, I'm just not sure what this offense is going to look like. And last year, the top receiver in Green Bay only got 100 targets, and that was Allen Lazard. Certainly one would think that Watson is in the best position to become the number 1 on this team, but his volume was terrible last year. He was only averaging like 5 targets a game, which is certainly not anything close to elite. And the only reason people talk about him is because he had that great run of 4 games where he got like 7 touchdowns in 4 games on 14 catches. Just an insane touchdown ratio that will never be repeated. So the way he becomes successful this year is if he actually becomes a high volume receiver. And I don't know if that's in the cards. They added a receiver. They added a couple of tight ends in the draft. I'm just not seeing who's the number one on this team. Who's the number one in Green Bay? I really don't know. I have zero idea.
Yeah, it's a lot of question marks at that position on that team for that matter. So I'm going to take Calvin Ridley here. I love the upside. I get my second wide receiver because, again, there's no running backs here that really jump out at me. And this is what I'm telling you. That's why I feel comfortable going robust RB, and then I got a lot of wide receivers later. Once I start getting a wide receiver, even though I feel it's an ace wide receiver in Olave, I've sacrificed another potential running back. Now, there is a ton of running back sleepers, which we'll discuss with you later in this draft. Again, patreon.com/FF Counselor, guys. If you want to see the full mock draft, we're going to give you all the sleepers breakouts, a ton of information. Not all of them. Everything is in 16 rounds. You get multiple mock drafts there. But we're going to give you a bunch of sleepers here in this mock draft. And patreon.com/FF Counselor. But in this case, I'm going to just go wide receiver here. I'm going to go Calvin Ridley based on ceiling. I've got 2 ace wide receiver ones. I've got my 2 running backs. I feel warm and fuzzy. And this is that executive decision here where if I do not go Herbert here, I lose him. So now I'm going to secure and anchor my team with an ace quarterback. I feel relatively warm and fuzzy at the running back position, Jim. I feel relatively warm and fuzzy at the wide receiver position, and now I can look at quarterback. Tight end, I know who the sleepers are. We'll get someone later. And all this is laid out in the 60-round draft solution. All the sleepers, breakouts, optimal players. But here, I'm just gonna. I can't miss out on Herbert and or Trevor Lawrence here. I just can't do it. So I'm gonna anchor my team with an ace quarterback here with Justin Herbert, and I feel warm and fuzzy. So Jim's coming up here on this 5th pick, 5.11. But Jim, real quick recap of the 4th round: Higgins, Hawkinson, Cam Akers, who you went with, James Conner, DK Metcalf, Alexander Madison, Debo, Amari Cooper, Joe Burrow, Calvin Ridley, J.K. Dobbins, and Lamar Jackson. And I can't believe Burrow and Lamar Jackson are coming ahead of Herbert here, man. I'm a total Herbert believer, honestly. What do you think?
I'm not big on Lamar. I don't think he's durable enough. He's only been able to play 10 games in each of the past 2 seasons. So I'm really off of him for that reason. But Burrow is typically going off in the 4th. There is some upside there. It is a contract year for Burrow. I can totally see a path here why you'd want to select him. I've actually taken him in one of my high stakes leagues, right, and I'm very happy to have him. But it's just a matter of getting, securing one of the elite options at wide receiver. And where I'm at right now, there's one guy left. All of them have gotten taken here because after you took Justin Herbert, then Justin Fields comes off right before me. I tell you, man, this team 9 is the Snipe City. It's Snipe City for me. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence is still on the board, and I've got to secure Trevor Lawrence at this point. I've already gushed about this guy. The adding of Calvin Ridley, just the fact that this is a breakout year for Trevor Lawrence. They've set him up perfectly to break out as an elite option receiver. I am just flabbergasted at all the projections showing that Trevor Lawrence is not going to do any better this year than he did last year, even though you saw a clear progression last year of his improvement during the course of the season. The second half was significantly better than the first half. Second year in his offensive system, there is massive growth for Trevor Lawrence this year. I love him. 4,500 yards, 40 touchdown ceiling I see as a potential upside here, but I'd be happy if he got 35 touchdowns, and I totally think he can do it from what he did last year. So I am drafting Trevor Lawrence here, taking the last elite option at quarterback.
Great. So recap here of the 5th round: Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Justin Herbert, who I got, Kenneth Walker, David Montgomery, Dalvin Cook. I can't believe Cook's coming off here. And DeAndre Hopkins, free agents here, back to back here in the 5th round. Terry McLaurin, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, DeAndre Swift, and Jerry Jeudy to round it out. George Kittle, Chris Godwin to start off round 6, who I'm not really crazy about. Jim, you're back on the clock here with your first pick of the 6th, 3rd pick overall in the 6th round. And it's the last round, guys.
So I've got a decision to make here. Now, I've already secured 3 running backs, so I'm totally solid there for a while. But I do need to get myself a second wide receiver. And I've got some great options here. This is awesome for the 6th round, man. I've got Drake London. I've got Deontay Johnson. These are 2 guys that I very much like. Christian Watson's still there. There's some other guys I don't like nearly as much. Michael Pittman's there, not really thrilled with him. But I've got to secure Deontay. I'm in my app right now. Deontay Johnson is the highest scoring Cuddy player this year, just for the value and the fact that you're getting someone that last year got 147 targets in the 6th round is amazing. And with improved quarterback play from Justin Pickett, if Pickett goes from, last year he only had 7 touchdowns, which was terrible. Let's say he just gets 20 touchdowns this year. That means that Deontay's in store for like 6 touchdowns. So I am like all in on Deontay. Total bounce back here for the guy.
He is.
What's that?
He's allergic to the end zone.
No, he's been good in the end zone. Last year was terrible, but then Justin Pickett only threw 7 touchdowns. It's no wonder he didn't catch any.
Right.
So like I said, it's going to be a bounce back year for Deontay. I love securing him as my 2, and super happy to get him here. I love that.
All right, so here we go, guys. This is my last pick for YouTube. Now, if you're on YouTube, I'm going to make one more pick. We've completed 6 rounds in full detail, 1 from the 3rd position overall, 1 from the 10th to give you that solid foundation. Now, if you want the full mock draft here, this particular one, patreon.com/FF Counselor. I've linked it below here on YouTube. Join the top tier to see it. Only the top tier generals will get access to this. And if you want multiple mock drafts, all the sleepers, all the breakouts, me doing it for you, walking you through optimized everything players, get the 16-round drafts, which I've linked it below. Use code SMASH to save 16 rounds for everything. For this mock draft, to see the full mock draft, patreon.com/FF Counselor. Go check it out. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you guys smash thumbs up, subscribe, and leave any questions you have for the first 6 rounds here. All right, so I'm on the clock here, Jim. Again, I feel really good. I've got my ace quarterback, got 2 wide receivers. Now it's kind of gravy. Got my 2 running backs. I take a quick glance at the running backs here. Again, not really feeling warm and fuzzy with these particular running backs. I could do a big reach here for a guy I like, is Zach Charbonnet. Still think he'll fall later. Take a quick glance at wide receiver. Again, a lot of question marks here at wide receiver. They're starting to get question marks at wide receiver. Pittman could be good. Evans, Treylon Burks here. Get my 3rd wide receiver here. And again, I still like a lot of wide receivers here. I don't mind reaching on a couple here. I think Quentin Johnston's going to have an amazing year, but I think he'll fall. Take a quick glance at tight end. I can wait on tight end. There's a lot of sleeper tight ends I like. Even some guys that are rookies that could break out. So, Jim, this is a tough decision because, again, I don't want to get my backup quarterback here. Unnecessary. Running backs, unless I reach. I mean, I could go Javonte here. Got some question marks, though. I don't feel warm and fuzzy, other than I like the upside of Zach Charbonnet here. Other than that, you're reaching. I'm going to go wide receiver here. And the guy that's got a clear path as a wide receiver 1 is Treylon Burks here. I mean, again, he's going to be my wide receiver 3, wide receiver 1 in his team. Dotson, you got question marks. Pickens is a wide receiver 2. Mike Evans is also good value here, I think, in the 6th round as well. I would definitely consider him, but obviously quarterback question marks, offensive question marks, aging wide receiver. Burks has a lot to prove here. Young, talented, and he came out of the draft unscathed. So I'm going to go here with Treylon Burks with this pick here at the 6.10. What do you think of Burks there, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, I last year was obviously a very disappointing year for the guy, but I mean, again, it's the clearest path in the world. There's no other receivers on this team, and I think if he stays healthy, he's going to be very productive, just based on how that team is put together. So I think, great choice here. A little bit higher risk because of the durability issues, but I like Treylon Burks, and I think he's like the last. Well, he's not really here because you took him early, but he's usually the last wide receiver 1 that goes off the board.
Right.
But there's still a few left. So,
all right. Patreon.com/FF Counselor if you want to see the full mock draft. YouTube, thank you for being here. Subscribe, thumbs up. We're going to continue this on the Patreon group to the general level, the top tier level. And make sure you guys get the 16-round drafts, which hopefully this helps you guys. I know it does. Give you a solid foundation to your draft. Okay, guys, I've linked the 60-round below. Subscribe, thumbs up, drop a comment below, and your questions. We'll try to get to as many as possible to help you guys with your draft. Fantasy football is around the corner. YouTube, Jim, do you want to say bye to the YouTube people right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, join us on Patreon and watch the rest of this draft because I'm going to kill it.
All right. We're out, guys. We'll talk soon, YouTube. We're out.